Welcome to SIssues. We are two sisters with issues and a need to work them out, and we're inviting you along for the ride.
Here we are taking the big things we have in common. Our love for Outlander, inappropriate humor, and why people do the things they do. Mix this up with our dirty lady mo's, and this podcast is born.
But don't worry, we'll explore other issues too.
Because you know,
when you have sisters, you have issues.
If you are easily offended or don't appreciate the creative use of colorful Canadian cursive language, this is not the podcast for you.
And welcome to our very first podcast. Welcome to SIssues. I'm Phil.
And I am Cher.
Woohoo! Aren't you so excited? I'm so excited.
She's so excited. She hit her mic for the very first time. And I can tell you people, she will be hitting that mic all the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So our first practice run, I know I did that.
And we're gonna probably eventually get her a mic the size of a thumb. And maybe she won't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be the case. I just think it needs to be wrapped in some sort of bubble.
You have to be wrapped in some sort of bubble.
Yeah, whatever. Bite my left elbow. Anyway, so we're starting off our podcast by doing an Outlander rewatch a little bit differently. I am new to Outlander, and Sherry, how long have you been an Outlander fan?
We're talking 20 years.
Yeah, so it's two different perspectives for sure. I've only been involved with Outlander for a year now. Got hooked when I was at Sherry's house for work, and we were... What?
Let me stop you, please.
Okay.
Now, let's just rewind, because as I said, I had been reading the books for 20 plus years. And I had always wanted to share this joy that I have for these books with my sister, who I love and adore. And she was like, yeah, I'll read them. Oh, yeah, I'll read them. Yeah, send me the book. Send me the book. She never did for 20 some years. Never did. And then I was like, oh my God, the TV show is coming out. She will watch the TV show. She likes TV. She'll watch it. No. And then one day she came to my house for work, and I thought, now I got her. Now she's going to watch it. And now you can take over.
Yeah, and that's where the obsession began. So she's like, so do you want to watch Outlander? How about we just watch the first episode? I'm like, yeah, okay. And then the end of the first episode, do you want to watch another episode? I'm like, okay. And then, okay, put the third on, put the fourth. Okay, you know what, Phyllis? It's 3:00 in the morning and you have to go to work. We have to go to bed. And that was it. From then on, after I went home, I would take my lunch break, go sit in my truck and watch as much of it as I could before I had to go back to work. It was terrible. And then I'd be texting her, oh my God, what happens next? I can't believe this happened.
And you can see some of those. You can see some of those texts on my Twitter, because I was making fun of her for a while.
I did not know that you were live tweeting my messages to you.
And they're hilarious. I can't remember what hashtag I used but I used a hashtag so you can go back and look. So my handle's at @abootlanders, and you could check out the sister tweets because they're pretty fucking funny. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, fucking funny. We do have a warning on our intro, but truth is, potty mouths. Potty. So yeah, you got.
And we apologize to you guys that don't appreciate that. It's just genuinely who we are, and it just comes out. It's nothing planned, I promise. But if you are sensitive to that, we really do apologize if you continue listening, because there is a little bit of it going on.
She apologizes. I'm just Canadian, so what we say is, "Aw, so sorry."
Alrighty, so Get however you want to watch your Outlander, whether you have it recorded, whether you have it on a DVD or you're watching it through Netflix. Get it all set up. If you need to pause us, that's totally fine. And this one has it starts off right away, so there's no music right away. So make sure you have it at the very, very beginning, and then we're going to get going. So Sherry, from now on, will be counting us down and letting you know when to hit play, and we're ready to go.
Yep. And remember, what we're doing here is like literally just watching the show, but we're going to be talking all the way through it. So if this is your first time watching Outlander, we are going to be annoying the shit out of you. So what I say, don't watch this the first time with us, because that's not going to be any fun at all. Okay. So watch the episode, then maybe come and play with us. Okay?
Yes.
So this is just like a couple of bitches sitting on a couch and watching the show and yapping about it. So that's what we're going to be doing. So grab something to drink. We got some water.
I got water with squirty sugar-free stuff in it.
What's flavor?
It's flavor. So that the bland water.
I asked you what flavor.
Oh. Okay.
I didn't ask you what flavor was. Wow.
Sorry, I need to put my earplugs in a little bit better. It's grape. I love grape. Grape
Grat drink.
I got a grat drink that's sugar free in my glass. Yeah, so you'll need something to drink. We definitely do, because really we can't shut our mouths. No. Anyway, okay.
Okay, here we go. We're going to count it down. 3. And when I say 1, not this one, when I say it for good, that's when you hit play. 3, 2, 1. And there we go.
Sassenach.
Lucky there.
That is just beautiful. I cannot wait for 2022 when we go to Scotland.
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time hearing this little monologue. Oh, I got goosebumps all over. I made my husband touch my goosebumps.
She sounds so young here. Mm-hmm. So young, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was just from reading the books for the first time to hearing those words, because there was a time when me and my best friend at the time, Brigida, and she's gone now. She's passed away, and I really wish that she was around to see this, because we used to talk about it when we'd go sit in the fishbowl in Tim Hortons and smoke our cigarettes and talk about Outlander, the book, all the time, and what if it got made into a movie. And she'd be like, nope, can't be a movie. She said it would have to be the world's largest miniseries, because they weren't doing TV like this back then, because this was 20 years ago that we were talking about it. And she did. She's the one that told me it would have to be a very long miniseries. And like that she was thinking like that back then, I thought was a pretty big deal.
Okay, I love this part. Oh, I wish I could get my fingers in there.
Okay, this is something you're going to notice about Phyllis. She's gross.
No way, man. I just think I should have been a doctor, because having my hands inside of a body would be so cool.
And she would probably kill all of her patients, because she'd be like, oh, look at this bone up here. I'm going to go reach and grab that one, too.
No, you're so funny. So funny. Look at her, though. It's like, okay, fine. I know what I was doing, but you guys can take over. Whatever.
Yeah, that doctor was just like, be off. And she's like, I guess. Because she had that one look for that 1 second that was like, dick.
And you don't know if she's actually hot or if she's wiping the blood off. But it just amazes me that it goes from, all that ruckus in the other side of the building to, yay, the war's over. We're celebrating. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know it from the other side.
Yeah. And I believe that girl that gave her the bottle is, her name is Claire. My stutter will come out every once in a while.
It's all good. Well, and this is our first show of Claire the alcoholic.
Yep, that's right. We will see her. Hey, no, she is not an alcoholic. She is sober phobic.
Yes, there
There's
we
a
go.
difference.
She just enjoys
She
the
has
taste of alcohol. That's
Mhm.
all.
She has no problems. She does not have a drinking problem. She does it very, very well.
Yep. Well, and terrible war in human history. Little does she know that this is just the beginning for her, eh?
Mhm.
The look on her face, she just looks a little lost. You know what I mean? Like she just,
There's that forlorn look.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, and the vase. I love how they take these moments, you know, those slow motion moments
Yeah.
throughout this whole series means so much. And that epitaph kind of thing in the middle of the road is significant throughout this whole series.
Absolutely.
As well.
Exactly. It's kind of like home base.
Yeah. And how well did they hit this right out of the park? Right?
That was not in season 1 at all. So
Nope.
they must have cut that scene. And I want to know, what was that scene all about?
Yeah. Probably just talking about making a baby or something like that, because it wasn't in the deleted scenes either from what I can remember.
No, and I was hoping that, Outlander has an official podcast where you can rewatch Outlander and they kind of give you all the behind the scenes, right? And I was hoping that they would have mentioned that, but they didn't.
No, did not.
I guess they got to leave those little tidbits to keep you guessing, right? Just like Diana does from book to book.
Right.
Then she puts out little teasers.
Yep. Her daily lines that you can find on her Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you want to. A lot of people don't want to, but I mean, she doesn't put anything that you can figure out plot lines and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. Well, she wants you to buy the book. Sassenach.
It was the little forget-me-nots. And that was something else that it's one of those things that, it's a direct link to how everything comes to be in this, because that's what brings Claire to the stones. So who put them there? Why did they put them there? It's all in what this story is about. And the first time I watched it, when it first came out, Goosebumps Central all over.
Well, it was so random, right? There were no other forget-me-nots except for that stone in that area, right? Yep, little bit of info there.
Yep. And you're probably not going to hear a whole lot of stuff that you maybe not have heard about, because we get all of our information from, our experiences being online, being, I've done interviews with some cast members, some crew, some, stuff like that. So, maybe I'll have a little bit of extra or something, but it's just us. And
just
our opinions, and sometimes we're going to be wrong about shit.
Oh, but you know what? You can leave comments for us. We don't mind being wrong.
No, we don't mind being wrong. And if we're wrong,
too.
we admit it. Like we're admitting we're going to be wrong already.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I love that car. Oh, it's so pretty.
It is. No seatbelts. You're going to die in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they had lap straps. Before they had the shoulder straps,
yeah,
they
so
had
only
straps.
You're going to get very, very big head injuries.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh.
And I love the blood.
Mrs. Beard. Foxy.
Oh, puppy.
No, that's not a puppy. It's a dead fox.
Okay, everybody. I know that you all have thought the exact same thing that I do, but she looks like Mrs. Doubtfire, including the apron. Come on. Hello.
Oh, God. It's Catherine Howden, Mrs. Baird. And well, now I'm going to be thinking of, Mrs. Baird as Doctor, Mrs. Doubtfire. And well, there is that scene with Mrs. Doubtfire and the vacuum cleaner. Yeah. And in the book, she's outside Jamie, fuck, I'm doing it again. Yeah. Frank and Claire's room, like with the vacuum cleaner, trying to listen while they're banging.
That's what I was going to say. Little bit of voyeur.
Yepers.
But I love the conversation that they're having because they talk about Samhain and magical and, all of that, right?
Yeah.
And that will come into play later.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And leave it to a historian to always want to, share history.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they sure do. People who know more than you always want to remind you that they know more than you.
Yeah. But subtly. As long as you do it subtly, it's totally fine.
Yeah, because for the people who are sitting across from them, it always seems subtle, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this room, typical, I know it's in Scotland, but you could find that wallpaper in England. You know what I mean? It's just the time of decoration. Decor.
Mm-hmm. Decoration.
Decoration. I love when wingback chairs are so comfortable.
You think wingback chairs are comfortable?
I love them, especially the ones that they make now. They're kind of longer in the seat, so you can curl your feet up.
Well, and that's better.
The wings are to keep your head from falling over when you fall asleep on the chair. Ooh,
yeah, I don't find them very comfortable at all.
I love them. Squeaky bed. And you know what? The fact that his first inclination is to go dig in his briefcase, dude, you have this gorgeous woman standing in front of you.
Oh, that's just... See? And she's telling him, but she was doing it in a flirty way. Yeah, see, this is what I want to do. I like the bouncy, bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah, that'd be me. That'd be me. Jumping on a bed.
Not me. I'd be like, take your fucking clothes off. We're going to bang. Like, enough.
No, I like the build-up. The build-up is good.
Oh, no, there'd be foreplay. It would be on me, but it would be like, and she's like, no, don't jump on my bed. It's going to come through the roof.
She knows the difference in the squeak. That's for sure.
Exactly.
I love how he looks at her. It's just,
Yep.
And it makes me sad that she couldn't remember the certain things about him, but yet he picks up her hand and he can remember every line. It just shows me that, he's a lot more in love, like truly in love, than she is,
Well, he's also much older than she is.
Yeah.
Right? He is older than her. She's, that speaks to something though, right?
I don't know the age difference between the two. I didn't realize that he was that much older than her.
I think he was about 10 years older.
Oh, really?
I believe so. Yeah. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Well, and I think, just maybe she's just a little bit lost, as we go through the episode. She's just not as grounded as he is.
I don't think she is.
He's back to when they were together before the war. He's already there, and she's not. But she's trying. Absolutely, she's trying.
Well, yeah, she's been Well, I think that some people, and being the wife of somebody that was in the military, some people, have the ability to compartmentalize things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And not that works for the long haul, because it also doesn't. Sometimes as you get older, those compartments start breaking down.
Yeah.
But in the moment, like I think she's more desperate to get back.
Yeah.
And that's why she seems a little bit lost, like she's clawing for it.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
as he's like, I'm jumped in.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Whereas she's like, I need a little bit of help here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When she went down on her knees on the bed, I'm like, oh, well, this is a great start to this series. And then he knelt down and I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Well, see, I love how they add all these little tidbits, right?
Yep.
They start talking about the rock right away, and that's going to come into play later. And as we go through the entire seasons, all these little tidbits come back, right? But you don't
Right.
realize it in the moment. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, that's wonderful little bit of history.
Yep. And this little girl who's playing young Claire is Elizabeth Bowie. And we don't get very often knowing how much CGI is used in the show. But
Yeah.
even this is CGI. They didn't have a little girl light a smoke.
Thank goodness.
Back in the 80s, they would have.
Yeah.
And Uncle Lamb is Prentice Hancock.
And I think that this is going to come back later, whether it's been written already or hasn't. I'm only on book 5 so far, partway through. So I don't know whether or not Claire's history or Uncle Lamb, why she came to live with all of that, right?
Right.
So I only know what's been told so far.
Right. Well, and then we have this this history with Claire having lived with her Uncle Lamb. Now, the point being, I think, is to show how resourceful she can be, right?
Yeah.
So, having these experiences of a kid that did you almost fall off your seat?
No, but it broke my chair. Dang nabbit. Oh, well, it was bound to happen.
See, I love how this is, they've used CGI for a lot of this stuff too. I love how they're walking through the old room together. You can
Which will eventually be Castle Leoch.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can almost see these, when she's looking at Frank, she likes how invested he is in this.
Right.
But whenever she's kind of pensive on her own, you can see this kind of look on her face like, this isn't, like, what is this? Like, she has a feeling. So she keeps on bringing Frank back to center her because something is going on in her head that is not making her feel right.
It's almost like a bewilderment. It's exactly like you said, a feeling, but she's not putting a whole lot of thought into it. She recognizes it, but not overthinking it or anything.
Yeah. So almost like a deja vu that you get, but this deja vu isn't just clicking and passing. It's a deja vu that's like starting to envelop her. Right. And you see it the most of all when she goes down the stairs. Yeah. And just watch
she
for
stops.
It.
Yeah. She stops and she hesitates.
See, she's got it there. Like, she's like, what? Okay, like, how could I have been here? Never been here before, but boy, oh boy, this feels familiar.
And I think, again, it feels that way to her, but she doesn't, she doesn't say anything because that just doesn't make sense. So it just doesn't make sense.
And that's why she goes and back to looking at Frank, watching Frank, being with Frank, and, that's just stay in with Frank, like keep watching him and I'm going to be centered. Yeah. But when a moment takes her and that's coming up right here, he can't help but feel that moment of the fuck. And so right back to,
I don't understand. I don't understand. I'll just keep going.
Yep. And, again, she's going to go in and take advantage of who she's with.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Making jokes and...
The Hermit, yep, just exactly where you were locked up.
And please know, everybody, that's another thing that we said. If you have not watched Outlander, don't watch this with us because we are going to have show spoilers from season 1 to 5 in these podcasts. Okay. Yeah. We will be talking about everything and anything that might have happened in seasons 1 through 5. We will do our best not to go too far into the books. We will talk about what happened in the books from let's say Outlander, and maybe a few hints. But we'll try not to give away major spoilers.
I think Frank lost his keys. He's looking for his keys.
That's not a pocket, Frank.
She's very much the dominant between the two of them, is she not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's and that's one way I think that she picked up from Uncle Lamb is not
I don't think she picked that. I hope she didn't pick that up from Uncle Lamb.
You know what I mean, you shit.
Oh my God.
No, to be assertive,
Yeah.
because he brought her into a lot of male dominated areas. So in order to, so it's that assertiveness that I'm talking about, not, to demand to be eaten out in a castle.
Yeah. Oh, there's James Fleet, Reverend Wakefield.
There he is. God, he's a cute little bugger.
And again, more info that's going to come in handy later on. And the fact that she's listening, just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's more her. Okay, well, I have to get into this whole mindset, right? If I want to reconnect with this man,
yeah,
I have to pay attention to the shit that he's interested in.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then what are we going to have to talk about?
Yeah.
Right?
Because it can't always be about you.
Right. And it can't always, you only can, demand that he have lunch so many times a day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and this is where we start really getting exposure to the sets, right? Like a lot of these rooms are reused, repurposed. Mm-hmm. You'll see that fireplace redecorated I don't know how many times. So
that's because John Gary Steele is a fucking master.
Yeah.
And he is the set designer. He is the production designer. And he is fabulous. I absolutely love him. I did an interview with his husband, Barry Waldo, and that's on abootlanders.com. You can check it out there. And they have a little Q&A video that they did for me as well. But
Tracy Wilkinson, Mrs. Graham.
Yeah.
I love this interaction because it's kind of the start of it all, suggestion that something might change, right?
Right.
And just Claire's kind of hesitant reaction, to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't really, okay, I'll do the tea leaf sort of thing. But, it takes her a second to, okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And she's not so, yeah. And I think it's another bit of when she hears it, it's another bit of, this is ringing true and it's making me feel uncomfortable.
Because I don't know why it's making me feel uncomfortable.
Right. Or how in the hell can it ring true to me?
Yeah. Because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It makes zero sense. And, poor Mrs. Graham looks just as bewildered because how many thousands of times have she read the tea leaves before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking at her like, you're strange. I must be crazy. Let me check your hand. And she's a little bit hesitant,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my hand.
Yeah.
And it's good that she's explaining it to her, but also explaining her bewilderment as well. And she's looking at Claire like, you're a little bit weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, looking at her like, I'm really quite impressed by you. I think that's my impression too.
I don't know if she even knows what to think about her. Maybe this is the weirdest palm reading and tea leaf reading she's ever had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things, though, she was able to pick out, her sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Well, but see, I think Mrs. Graham is also a pretty, even though she's, the house lady for the Reverend and stuff like that, she's got some backbone of her own. She doesn't she talks back to the Reverend. She's doesn't take much of his shit.
Yeah.
And, she helped raise Roger and made sure that he was disciplined and, so I think she sees kind of a kindred spirit in Katrina that way. That's why she felt like she could speak openly to her.
Absolutely.
And
And it's easier to do woman to woman as well.
Right.
So, but she still looks at her kind of funny. Like,
yeah.
I don't get you. I'm not sure what I just read.
Mm-hmm. And neither does Claire. But I think that part of that uncomfortableness was the feeling that she knows something about that reading was accurate, and she doesn't know what it was.
And just, I think she's just not at the point where, she's like, that's enveloping her. It's just like a passing thought in her head, right?
Yeah.
Because why would she? She wouldn't think anything otherwise, right? It's just making her, like, I don't get it, but why does it feel like it rings with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why she's like.
And they first talk about the Duke here as well.
Yeah.
And she's done. She doesn't want to have anything else to do with the history lesson.
No, because it's boring.
But
and
again,
you still have that.
Her negative body language, just with her arms crossed and just kind of the lost look on her face. I feel that for her. She's trying so hard to come back, and I think she's just not sure where she should be.
Yep. And the color blue. There's so much blue.
And there's a reason. And girl, you should have worn a scarf on your head when you were in the convertible car blowing through the countryside. That's why you're having a hard time getting the brush through it. Yikes.
First Jesus H. Roosevelt
Christ. Yeah. He looks so handsome there.
And here's the ghost.
Yeah.
And I think.
Go ahead. No.
Go. They did a really good job, I think, with the portrayal of this. It's one of the most significant parts of the book, and this was going to be a concern for a lot of fans on how they played this, because it could have been so cheesy and so overdone, but it was brilliantly done. Like, just.
Yeah,
perfect.
I think that was awesome. And I love how the lightning strike lit up the rest of the street so that you knew he wasn't there.
Yep. Yeah,
and
exactly.
In my mind, because Jamie and Murtaugh are so close, I think that he told Murtaugh about this because, of course, I think he saw her in a dream, because that's when he seen Brianna as well. So I think he told Murtaugh about it, and that's how Murtaugh was so accepting of her.
Right.
Just my gut feeling. I heard that there's a book out that Diana wrote from Jamie's perspective.
That would be graphic novel. It's a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I'll get the name of it.
Yeah, I'll have to. I just seen it on one of our social media sites.
I have it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll give it to you on Wednesday.
Okay. Sherry and I only live like 3 hours away from each other, so.
I like this little interplay with them.
Yeah.
Like the she's so innocently telling him he's got an agenda to this question that she's not aware of.
Exactly. But I like how he's not so accusatory. Like, he doesn't come out and lose his mind right away. He's just thinking about it, right?
But
and now she gets
question.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Now she's getting it, though.
Well, most women are pretty intuitive enough to know when they're being accused of having an affair.
Yes.
And let's always remember that when somebody is very accusatory, or this is something that's really good to remember, guys, if you're always being accused of being unfaithful, the person that's doing that to you, it's usually called projection.
Yes.
And that means that the likelihood is they are or going to be the ones that are unfaithful. It's a form of gaslighting.
and I get his question 100%, and I get why she's upset. And I'm glad he's taking the time to explain it to her. He didn't mean to hurt her. He
Mhm.
just didn't know if, maybe someone fell in love with her then,
Right.
He
Mhm.
didn't mean anything.
Which, let's face it, look at her and
Yes.
understand that there's a lot of men out there that are terrified
Yeah.
of strong-willed, opinionated women. But
Yeah.
there is a whole other selection of men out there who are drawn to and adore
Yeah.
women who are opinionated, funny, and that have that kind of personality.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is our first, look into the lovemaking that is going to happen in Outlander. So enjoy. I don't look away, people. Just watch. It's okay. It's all right. You're in a safe house.
Well, and that's the thing too. That was a huge, like so many people were against the and they called it explicitity of the lovemaking on the show. That's not explicit. You want to see
No.
explicit, you go to Pornhub, okay?
Yeah.
This is erotic. There's
Yes.
a difference, all right? And this is something that you can choose to fast forward through if you want to, but there's nothing to be ashamed of to see
No.
breasts, especially Katrina's. She has beautiful breasts.
It's
You know what?
natural. It's
And-
just natural.
And something that I want people to remember when they're calling people, fat, when they're calling people tubby, that's a form of body shaming. And when they're calling people bony, and when they're saying titties are too small or her nipples don't match, that's also body shaming. To say that Frank is too skinny, doesn't have enough muscles, that's a form of body shaming as well. So guess what, people? Be kind. These people are doing a job, and they're doing a really fucking good job of fucking.
Well, I
So-
think it's a good way to show the relationship and where they are right now as well, right?
Mhm. They're
I
a
love
couple.
I love that they're taking this kind of, midnight stroll to, voyeur on a possible
Yeah.
dance.
Exactly. It's so cool. And yep, this is another thing that comes back. Like, look at the lights of Inverness.
Yeah, exactly.
How pretty they are from here.
Yeah. Again, those little tidbits that will come back. And I
Mhm.
love this part.
Yeah.
I know I seen on social media somewhere that there was a group that went to
One of the conventions.
yeah, and
Yep.
they were dressed like this, and they had those makeshift lanterns. They were fantastic. They did an amazing job.
Oh yeah, for sure. They like had resin. I think
Yeah.
they made them out of resin and epoxy, and yeah,
So smart. Yeah.
they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I
Yeah.
would love to be able to hide in the woods and watch something like that. It's just, it's like fairies, dancing in the woods.
Who you kidding?
Love it.
You would love to be one of those people dancing in the woods.
Yes.
Not watching them.
Fine.
You
But
would,
how
you
do you
would jump out of the grass and say, Can I join you? Somebody give me a torch.
I don't know how my neighbors would feel if I went out in the middle of the night and did this and, blared the music. They might think I'm a little weird. Just a little bit.
I'm just going out on a limb and saying I think your neighbors already know you're a little weird.
Well, you know what happens when you go out on a limb? The limb breaks and you crash down.
Okay. I'm the one that's on the limb, so I've crashed and burned numerous times.
I love that they've seen Mrs. Graham.
Yep.
I love that they know that she's a part of it. And,
Mhm.
and you watch Claire's face and it's again, there's confusion. And of course I'd be confused watching it, but I would just think this is pretty cool. And of course, you know what? No, they don't have a ghetto blaster with music playing. Music is in everybody's head.
Yeah.
But still, and I wonder who all these girls are. Like,
They're
I'd
all
love
a part of the secret society of bedsheet dancers.
They're believers in the stones and the powers and the fairies and all of that. So I think that's pretty cool.
And they make the sun come up.
I know, like they're so magical. Why does she do that? Why does she screw up her eyebrows that way? Is she surprised that the sun is coming up?
I think she's mesmerized, and then she's like, oh, this is the time. This is why. And look, the sun comes through and hits that one stone first.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, Tracy Wilkinson, Mrs. Graham, is in a show that I just finished watching with my husband, and it's called Carnival Row. And oh my God, it's such a fun, great show to watch. You gotta check it out. Yeah, she's in that, and it's like Orlando Bloom's in it,
Very cool.
He's unrecognizable in this show.
And that's it, people. That's the dance.
Blow out your candles, go for a walk. See you later, people.
And I'm glad that they decided to go walk up to the stones. Of course, that's a very important part of the show for sure.
Very important.
Very important.
She talking in the Irish.
Okay, well, that's enough. Can we go now?
She's like,
that was cool.
Oh, that's neat. And the fog and everything. And there's the stone.
The rock.
Kind of looked a little phallic there with the big round part on the bottom. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I've watched this a million times, and I never noticed that phallic-y bubble on the bottom there.
What?
The ballsy looking part.
Yeah.
Never really paid attention to that until just this moment. Oh, got a little bit of fur on it, too.
Well, and Frank obviously ain't being drawn through it.
Nope.
He touched the stone, nothing. Oh, he's making notes.
Yep. Oh, there she sees the forget-me-nots.
Yeah, exactly. And I know some people may think, okay, well, why didn't she hear anything now?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't go through the stone all the time. It's only certain parts, right?
Right.
Certain times.
Days.
And she's not ready yet. Mm-hmm. She's not ready to go through. So.
Yep. Yeah. There we go.
It will call you when it wants you to come.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not only that, but it's like the day of is usually when you can go through, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and it's TV. That's another thing.
She lost her thingamabobber.
Her royal hair, please.
She probably the reason she stayed, she probably is, I would love to be able to go through the stones and just dreaming if I sit here long enough will the fairies come and get me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the book she sat there to have a cigarette.
Oh, and is that what it said in the book?
Yeah, pretty sure.
See, for me, this of course is not my second, third time watching the Outlander series. I've watched it a few times.
Okay, be honest. You stopped counting at what number?
I don't know, maybe 20 amount of times.
At about 23 times, she stopped counting.
Yeah, well,
23, all 5 seasons.
Okay, in self-defense, though.
Oh, here's the part. Oh, now the slow motion, guys. We know what this means. Oh, look at that little tiny fluff that fell. And what did she do?
Look at his bum.
She looked at his bum.
And then that would be their last time. Everything that's significant, they slow right down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And great choice of dress, I do have to say.
Yep.
It
Very
will definitely
shift-like.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing a plaid as a shawl.
A shawl.
Yeah.
And
the shoes were really manly back then.
Well, they're just loafers.
Yeah,
that's just loafers.
Yeah, but
it depends on where you're going, right? You could have worn little heels if you wanted to,
but now they have like Vans or deck shoes, and so
we
much.
Have every single kind of shoe known to every single kind of person.
So here she goes, looking for the forget-me-nots that she's seen, because she doesn't know they're forget-me-nots. She just wants to make sure.
Were.
Yeah,
she thought they were.
Thought they were, but she's only just recently
forgot.
She's just only recently gotten into herbs and plants and things like that.
Right.
It's a newfound hobby for her. So that's why she was questioning. Oh, And what's going to happen? Naturally, this is not a wind machine, guys.
Yep, that's because it's spooky up there. And that's what they said. It was one of those magical moments that happened on Outlander during the filming.
And
like every single time she turned her head for that shot, the wind just came up.
Yeah, and that happens more than once. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what's that rumbling that she hears?
I don't know, but she feels like she needs to touch it, and boom.
What does Claire do? She touches it.
Oh, of course. She's not going to walk away.
This description I absolutely love, and the fact that they showed it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gives you kind of a perception of how her body felt going through the stones. It wasn't painful, but the energy required, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and there was a certain, like, because they've talked about it before, like, it feels like their insides are being kind of torn at. And I love that they went with the description that was in the book to a degree. They did talk about it. She mentioned in the book how it was painful for them, and that's why they didn't want to keep on doing it, because every time it was worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The fact that they did it, because it could have been cheesy as hell. Like, honestly. And
and now that she's through the stones, you'll notice that the filming has changed. The colors are much more vibrant, and you know, and well, now everything is overgrown.
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. And it's beautiful, lush, and the trees look younger.
Yeah. And hey, dude,
where's my car?
And where's the frickin' road?
Right?
Am I lost? Did I get turned around?
She left her shawl at the stones too. Oopsie doopsie.
Yeah.
And now it's raining because you can see her
hair is flat on top. Yeah.
And this is where I start feeling really badly for Katrina as a human being.
Yeah.
Because these scenes took a long time to shoot. They were in there for a couple weeks, and she's in this tiny little dress in the rain, running through the woods.
And you can also notice the different takes. So the take before this last one, her hair was a little bit fluffier than the next one. It was a little bit flatter because it was raining a little bit more that day. So, and see, now it's back to being fluffy again.
Oh, Jesus. See, that gun every single time makes me jump. And I will watch it over and over and over and over. But see, your talking distracted me. So it made me jump again.
That's from the trail side. That's from the other side of the family where everybody's jumpy.
Mm-hmm. Jumpy as hell, I tell you.
Yeah.
But I just love how her computing skills, her brain computing skills is like, this shit is not right. But
I gotta
she's
run.
like, is this a movie set and see, perfect timing for the fall because this gets rid of her belt, her watch are both gone. The button on her dress. Yeah. Oh, look, there's Stephen Walters. There's Agnes. We don't know it's him yet, but there he is.
Yeah.
And she's
run,
like,
little guy, run.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, somebody saw her, so they're going to fire at her. And she's like, okay, this is not a play. This is not a TV show.
What is going on?
Live ammo. And we get our Scottish music going. And this is where my goosebumps went like full fire. Like I was just wiggling in my chair. My husband's looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Calm down. It's just a TV show. And I was like, just a TV show? Shut your mouth.
Run, Forrest, run.
And I know it is just a TV show, let's just say. But at that moment in time, this was something that I had been waiting for over 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then this part too, where she first stumbles on, is it Frank?
Right.
You look weird.
Right.
What's going on?
You look like you just ate somebody's baby.
But as soon as he speaks, she knows. And he doesn't even look like Frank. We know it's the same actor, but he's holding his head back a little bit on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It makes his face look a little bit different.
Yep.
And they've made the wrinkles a little bit more prominent. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
and he holds his face so the lines are dominant. He holds his jaw
Yeah.
just a little bit forward,
Yeah. Just
And-
a little bit different.
and it's like he almost has like chew all along his bottom lip. He doesn't,
Yeah. No.
but it's like he does. So he has this like really dark, he has this darkness to his face and his eyes.
And I think she was really quick on her feet to even think about using his, not using her last name, but using her maiden name.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't have been that quick on my feet, but I think in her head when he first told her his name,
Yep.
even though it didn't show the expression on her face, like, oh my gosh, that's a Randall,
Mhm.
but maybe then it clicked to her, I know who you are,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just happened so fast.
It didn't make sense, but I can't say that I'm related to you.
Yeah. And
And
I can't
man.
believe that she does so much bad crap when she has like a gun or a sword, knife
Yep.
or anything.
Whoop, whoop. And here's our first visit for Murtaugh. And
Hello, Murta.
he does what Murtaugh does and knocks people out with one doodly-doo to the head.
Yeah.
And within a minute, we get 2 Murtaugh knockouts.
Yeah, exactly.
One for him, one for her.
And I don't understand why she was yelling to begin with, because they were the first ones to start shooting at her. Like, come on, Claire.
Well, she doesn't know like what's going on. She's so confused. Like she's
Of course.
just
But I wouldn't go to one enemy to save myself from another enemy. I'd just try and figure that crap out.
oh, you just want to run away.
Yeah.
Oh, and now she's in a room full
Full
of dirty men
In a shift.
in a shift.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
exactly.
Oh,
First time I heard him call the word Sassenach. That's the
Yep.
first time I ever heard Sassenach, is when I started watching the show.
hmm Andrew. Oh God, when I was reading the books and when he saw this, he said, "Sassy snatch." Yes, sassy snatch. Sasquatch. Yes, Sasquatch. So he would always make up funny names for me. It's like, you know what? It would just be nice. Sassnack, just once. Nope. Always has to be something funny.
So the first time I watched this, I don't even think Sassenach stayed in my brain. I started learning more after the second, third, and fourth time, because the first time I was just like, oh, I gotta see the next one, gotta see the next one, gotta see
Yep.
the next one. So I just felt like I had to catch up, and I just had to get through them as fast as I could. Same with the books. I'm on book 5, going through them for the first time. I definitely think I'm gonna have to go back and reread them for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe and listen to the audiobooks.
Yeah. I had to do that with, which one did I had to do that with? I can't
Probably
remember.
4.
Yeah, maybe. I think it was I read 4. It was 3.
Oh, really?
The third one. Yeah.
Drums of
Yeah.
Autumn.
So I listened to that one.
Oh, that guy is so dirty.
Ugh, he just
hate
grosses
the
me out.
leer. Just stop it.
I just do.
Even
at
Stephen
least-
Walter's being a little gross here too. Just the leering. Like she just looks so uncomfortable.
But at least, and she doesn't know
Mhm.
this yet, compared to other clans, they don't believe in rape
Well,
for
they
the
kinda
most
do,
part.
which is funny because Dougal does say, "I don't abide by rape," and he tried to rape her later.
Exactly.
Like, shut up, you douche canoe.
He just
Maybe you
doesn't
don't
believe in
believe
it
it.
when everybody else is around.
Yeah, exactly. And when he's
Yeah.
not drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Yuck.
Oh,
Well, hello. Who are
she's like,
you,
"Nope, nope,
young
nope."
buck?
that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah. Stand aside at once. That's so funny.
Yeah. They're looking at her like, what the hell
I
are
think
you
she's
talking about?
realizing at this point in time that she needs to be more assertive,
Mhm.
because that's the only way she's going to survive, because she's in full-on survival mode right now. Right?
Absolutely. And she knows how to do this. This is something that she can help with. So if she can help in this moment, then maybe she'll live another 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And look at
Oh.
Stephen.
Because bone eek.
Watch it pop in. Watch. I love this part. And then
not real, but that's okay.
it's pretty cool though. They
It
did a
is.
great job with makeup.
Oh yeah. Oh
Dunk.
yeah.
Love it.
Ka-dunk.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How'd you know
Yeah.
how to do that?
They did an awesome job.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure.
Yeah.
Me? Huh?
Fetch me, she says.
And I love his little top pony.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, it's too cute.
It is.
Do
Like I'm a
whatever-
nurse and he's looking at her tits like a nurse.
Yeah.
Not a wet nurse, you boob.
I'm
But
sorry, I didn't mean to look at your boobs.
But
Yeah,
the thing is that's what a wet nurse, like they didn't call healers nurses back
No.
then. Like they called wet nurses are the ones that fed other people's babies.
Yeah, and it was normally the help when
Yeah.
the woman of the house had the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't breastfeed it.
Nope.
The wet nurse breastfed it. So
Yep. Mm-hmm. And those wet nurses were basically cattle.
Yeah.
They would have a child at one point. Their child would end up being breastfed by their mother for only a matter of months. Then they would be given regular milk, and the mother would breastfeed somebody else's baby for sometimes years, and they would continue breastfeeding for years, but not their own children.
now it's of course the Inverness lights.
Yeah,
Now she's starting to realize it.
Yep.
I
that's
don't
not
think I'm
Inverness.
in the right time. I think
Mhm.
something has happened.
Yeah,
And the rain here in Scotland, it's misty, but so much of it, you
Yeah.
know,
uh-huh.
like you can see it. It's not like big fat rain, like
Mhm.
in Forrest Gump. It's a mist, but a lot of it. So
Yeah.
it's even more,
Mhm.
it just soaks your body so much
Yeah.
more even. So
So you can see it in some shots,
yeah.
but then in only the shots that have a little bit of light, if they turn the camera just a little bit, it's gone.
You can't see it. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's how fine of a mist it is. And God, it's cold, like
Yeah.
cold. It's not like sometimes we get nice, fine, misty rain in Canada,
Yeah.
but it's usually really warm. It's usually like those are our warm rains.
Well, and you can even see the drops of mist on her hair. That's how you
Mhm.
know it's not that big fat rain, because it would be like just dripping off the
Drenched.
ends, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But instead, it's sitting
Mhm.
sitting on the top of their hair. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a place I would mind being right now.
yeah, well, that's just because it's like minus 16 outside.
No, I meant sitting in front of a horse on
Oh.
Jamie.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that I have a round arse.
My arse isn't just round.
Jeez.
God, my ass would keep him warm for a week.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, ditto. Same.
Mm.
Well, and they said this was the toughest part about shooting this series was the dang horses because they had minds of their own. They said, you know what, if we had known, we maybe would have had to try something different. They knew that they needed it, but they said,
These
just
scenes
took
in
forever.
particular, these
Yeah.
ones in particular are all B-roll, which has like stand-ins for, that's not Claire and Jamie. Those are their doubles that are going through those. So you could even like slow it down and yeah, that's not them. So they're B-roll. Now it's them.
yes.
But yeah, with those ones where they're galloping through and stuff like that, it's their body doubles.
And B-roll is just in between shots. It's
Right.
not the main part of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Common Rock.
rock. Cocky me rock.
Yeah. And I love that she shares this information with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, because if she hadn't,
Yeah.
they might all have bullets in their heads.
Yeah, exactly. So she did one good thing. So
Mhm.
they're
Even
still going
though-
to question. They're still questioning who she is, why she's there, all of that. But
Yeah.
a little bit thankful for the information, but I think even raises that question a little bit more. How the hell did she know? We don't believe that she heard it in the village.
Right. Yeah. What village? Duke Duke.
Yeah. Well, and at least Jamie has a sense about him, to know that, what she's saying is absolutely true.
Well, it's accurate as fuck. I mean, yeah, like, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, take a look around. Take a look at the, take a look at the ground that we're walking through. Like,
and you
on
notice
both sides.
She can't show any vulnerability whatsoever.
Nope.
She always has to portray this confidence, and that's why she keeps her chin up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to them, it's very, they don't encounter women like this.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very different. She's, and I get a laugh out of this where it's just like, off the horse you go, girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. No warning. No warning. Just alley-oop.
Right, gone.
And there we go.
Jesus Christ.
Get off my horse.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And she doesn't even know what's going on. She's like, I'm off the horse. I'm off the horse.
I'm off the horse. And yippers.
There we go.
They were. So now, does she start running? Fucking right, she starts running.
Why can't she just lay there? They don't even see her, but no, Claire's got to run.
Claire's going to run. Claire goes. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You can say stay and Claire goes.
Yeah.
I know I have oppositional defiance disorder as well. So I know what Claire's thinking.
Someone says one thing, you do the other.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, and it doesn't work either if you try to use reverse psychology, because we know you're trying to use reverse psychology. So guess what?
Yeah.
We reverse your reverse psychology and up yours.
I wonder where she thinks she's going. Is she going to find the highway? No, because she already knows that she's in a different time.
Yep. Oh, and here's the first time we see the Jamie dismount.
I love that.
Made that his own and carries it throughout the whole series, and people just love it because it's a dangerous thing to do. To get off your horse like that is very dangerous because the horse can take one side step and you are flat on your back or your neck is broken. So,
and I like Jamie with longer hair. I don't know everybody else, but I do like Jamie with the longer hair.
For sure.
Sitting on the shoulders. I don't know. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a reason from the books that his hair was that short to start with. Oh wait, pick me up and throw me over your shoulder. Do it. Mm-hmm. But see, she's got it in her head that I just fixed that shoulder.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to want you to pick me up and put me over it.
Exactly.
But anyway, so in the book, in the story, the reason why his hair is short is because Dougal attempted to kill him and hit him in the back of the head with an axe. So the monks had to shave the back of his head to fix it. So that's why his hair was short in the books when they first met. So that was never kind of the story going forward here. And that's kind of why Jamie is tone deaf. That's why Jamie, there's all these reasons because of that one story in the book.
But it also makes sense, if you had that back history to understand the tension between the two of them as well.
Between Dougal and
Yeah, absolutely. And you get more of it as the series goes on in this particular season. So. But that's good little bit of back history. Yeah. And look, he's still questioning. You can see Dougal's face and how did she know? Like, I don't believe what's going on here, right?
Yeah. Oh, Claire won't refuse a drink.
And Jamie's already taking care of her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And again, Dougal and his screwy up face.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't trust her. And you know what? It's not only because she... knew this information.
Yeah.
It's also because of the way she acts.
Yeah.
Like, what woman acts like this?
Not any that they know, right? Yep. Probably the woman with the most amount of courage, is maybe Mrs. Fitz or, Column's wife,
But they will still heed
Oh,
when
absolutely.
they're told. Like if
Yeah.
Colin was to say something,
Yeah.
to Mrs. Fitz, she would back the fuck off,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Because they
and
know their place back then.
yeah,
And I think that's why Dougal is she's not from here. Like
right.
there's something different about her. She's
Yeah.
from a different part of the world, right?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
she has an alternative motive,
Exactly.
right?
You don't just, an English person just doesn't plop themselves
Right.
in the middle of Scotland, especially a friggin' woman with attitude.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's speaking Yiddish, basically.
Pretty much, because they don't understand any, and it's not really even medical jargon. It's
Right.
just
Yep.
new world jargon. I
Oh,
don't know.
alcohol. We know what alcohol is.
Oh,
Yep,
I got
yep.
alcohol. Everybody's got that.
And now they're wondering, why the fuck you wasting it? Hey,
Exactly.
you're supposed to put it in his mouth, not in the
Yeah.
hole in his arm.
Yeah. Oh, he woke up pretty quick because I bet you that burned.
No shit.
And look at him looking at her. Just his
Yeah.
eyes. It's like
That's the I love you moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the moment he started falling in love with her.
Yeah, exactly.
And now ripping off bandages,
Yeah.
taking apart her clothes.
And she's ripping off parts of her already, shift.
Yep.
That means less of it. So
Yeah.
crazy.
She just is so disgusted with him and so upset with him.
Yeah.
It shows you something that they're all like, oh my God, what is with this woman and her dirty, dirty lady mouth?
I know, right?
She's
so
like
sassy.
blasphemous.
Look at Angus's face.
I
Like,
know.
what the?
Because he's so religious,
Yeah.
that little guy.
And Jamie's eyes look so blue,
Yeah, they're the brightest thing going right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's just, and I think that there's feelings already. They don't talk too much about how much feelings Claire was developing in that moment for Jamie. And I don't think it was love.
No.
I think it was this fierce protection
Well,
that
and
she was
also-
starting to develop for him.
And also this is the most not positive interaction, but cordial interaction she's had since all of this started, right?
Mhm.
He's the only one that's really talked to her,
Yeah.
right?
And been kind.
Exactly. So of course she's going to connect with him, right?
Right.
She's just not sure. She's a little bit curious even.
It's the same looks that she started giving at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
With, the vase, with the walking down the stairs, with the forget-me-nots, with the, these are the same looks that she was giving then that she's giving him.
Yeah.
Like every time he's got that kind moment, she's like, okay, like this is familiar to me.
Yeah.
And those subtleties were missed so many times watching the first couple of times that it's like, now you're catching them and it's like, wow, did they ever do such a great job that I would miss these?
Well, and I anybody who's only watched it once, don't just watch it once. I'm glad you're watching it with us a second or third or whatever time it is around. But if you only watched it once, it's good to watch it again, even up to 3 times before finishing with us, because you just find all the little things that you missed before.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like Agnes looks so tiny on his horse.
I know he does. He's such a good character, though. He's,
Yes.
that rough around the edges kind of guy that speaks his mind, but fiercely devoted,
Yeah. Fiercely devoted to Duncan, and not Duncan, to Dougal and to Rupert. Like they have this really strange relationship, I did an interview with Stephen Walters, and what he said was that Angus loved Rupert and Rupert hated Angus.
Yeah, exactly. But he needed a friend.
But you know, it was one of those, they couldn't do without the other. Rupert could not exist without hating Angus, and you know, like he just wasn't the same person if he didn't have Angus in his life to hate.
Yeah. Well, I love this part where Claire saw herself the first time she went to Castle Leoch.
Exactly.
She put 2 and 2 together, right?
Yeah. And it was like those moments that I've been mentioning over and over again, right?
Yeah.
That familiarity.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm so excited. We've gotten through our first episode of season 1. Woohoo! So much more to go.
I was just about to say those exact words.
Sorry, same kind of brain, maybe a little bit.
Oh God, don't.
Yeah, sorry.
Say that ever.
Sorry, not sorry.
Don't tell.
Well, this is kind of a disgusting story. Cher, why don't you take us through this one? Yuck.
I think it's funny.
It is funny, but it's still gross.
This is a Don't Tell Mommer. And this one is from Air 98 on Reddit, and this is what she goes on to say. Growing up, my sister was afraid of the dark. We lived in a house that was around 120 years old, so it had one toilet and limited light fixtures. To get to the bathroom, she had to go down the unlit stairs, through the unlit living room. They had to use plugged-in lamps into the walls, and through the kitchen to the bathroom. She obviously hated having to use the bathroom at night. Because of this, she would use a bucket she found in the garage and toss out whatever collected in the bucket overnight out the window in the morning and onto the tree next to the house. And to this day, our parents have no idea her piss killed that tree.
Oh my God. So this actually rings true for me because
did you kill trees with your piss?
No, I didn't. No, but one, I was afraid of the dark, and 2, we lived in a farmhouse in New Brunswick where it had additions built onto it. So the first original house was 100 years old. The second part was 75, and the third part was 50 years old. So, yeah.
And it had like one bathroom, didn't it?
Yeah, but it was upstairs at the end of the hall. So it wasn't down the stairs through the living room, dining room, into the kitchen, into the bathroom.
And we threw on some pictures on our website. So some pictures of the bathroom, and you know, our adorable damn selves. So if you want to check those out, you can go look at our website and see those on SIssues.ca.
Yeah. So really, I feel terribly bad about the tree. Like, for shame, this thing get pissed on every morning.
And I wonder if boys pee would do that, because it's like girls dog pee kills grass, but boys dog pee doesn't. Right?
Yep.
Isn't that true? So
well,
I wonder
that's my experience anyway.
Right. So I wonder if boys pee would have killed that tree, or if it's just girls. The things we think about. Like,
I know. It's sad.
Honestly. So, you know, if you want to share your stories with us, tell them how, Phil.
You can join us for every episode. At the end, we have a sister segment. You can visit us at SIssues.ca, or you can visit us on social media, whether it is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We want to hear your stories.